This evening, let's answer a meditation question from Reddit. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you were looking for. This evening, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two, but first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. If at any point during this evening's live stream you have a question about Buddhist meditation or philosophy or even chanting, there is no need to be bashful. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. So, about 16 minutes ago, Hopeful Hour asked, should I pay for a teacher? This individual elaborates, really thinking about paying for lessons online or in person, and was wondering if it'll be better than trying to figure out how to meditate on my own. And the very frustrating answer is, it depends. If you're bored and you just want an interesting project, you could spend a handful of decades studying every variation of every meditation system, and it is a path. It's a difficult path, but it is a path. If you want peace and you want it ASAP, then find a teacher. But wait, there's more. Not all teachers are created equal. So how is one to know which teacher or teaching to rely upon? First, I'll tell you the popular answer. Spoiler alert, it's the wrong answer. The popular answer is find someone who's so amazing that they've become super wealthy, and they're super attractive and super popular amongst students, amongst other people who aren't students, and amongst fellow teachers. And as I warned you, that's not the way to do it. Or as I said in a TV show I remember from the 90s, aw, ain't that cute, but it's wrong. So according to the Buddha, the test of a teacher is not their beauty or wealth or popularity. The test of a teaching is not its age or orthodoxy. The test of a teacher or a teaching is not convention. Now, when I was back in the 90s, if someone was applying for a job, they would fill out the application, they would bring a resume, and they would bring credentials, as well as letters of recommendations. And that is what the Buddha referred to as convention. But according to the Buddha, it don't matter. What then is the test of the teachings? What then is the test of a teacher? Simply this. Meet with a teacher. If he gives you a technique, play with it enthusiastically at least once every 12 hours for 7 consecutive days, and then notice your results. Remember, in the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha said full enlightenment could be accomplished in a week. So clearly, a week is long enough to ascertain whether a teaching or a teacher is jiving with you. If after a week of enthusiastic practice, your peace and your love have not increased or perhaps even have diminished, then you should find a new teaching or a new teacher. But if your love and your peace have increased, then you may be onto something, and you should work with that person. Beware of teachers who ignore the scientific method and who say, well, if it doesn't work for you, keep doing it anyway. No, that's not how the scientific method works. You start with hypothesis, you take action, you notice your results. And based on those results, the information from the results help you determine the next step in your journey. If someone's telling you to ignore your results, they are a danger to themselves and others and you. But there are certain red herrings. In the Jewel Rosary of Gampopa, it is taught that one must never ransom the Dharma. So it is fine to give a teacher a donation. But if a teacher says the donation is mandatory, then by definition, that's not a definition, that's a fee. Now, if they don't know the difference between a fee or a donation, A, they're ignorant, or B, they're deceitful and manipulative. Now, do you want a ignorant, deceitful, and manipulative teacher? Because there are plenty of them out there. I don't. Listen, spoiler alert. An ignorant, deceitful, or manipulative teacher will not increase your peace. They will increase your turmoil. So reach out to teachers, and if they try to play games with vocabulary and they want to charge you fees, then just find someone else. Find someone who will accept donations but not demand them. That is an excellent rule of thumb. In the meantime, you're welcome to hang out with me on this channel. And while I'm on that subject, every day I live stream 4 meditation classes without any advertisements, health permitting. If you feel that you benefit from my teachings, allow me to remind you that with your assistance, this channel could come to help support the next generation of nuns, monks, yogis, lamas, and even brick-and-mortar meditation centers, each replete with a resident teacher and their apprentice. If this speaks to you and you'd like to help out, even for as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month, just use your smartphone's camera to capture this QR code, or if you're old school, click one of the donation links in the description area below the video if you feel like it. Welcome to the latest iteration of Easy Meditations Proto-Zen. Let us practice a right view of reality by chanting this Heart of Wisdom Sutra. I found that if one chants with one's hands pressed together in front of one's chest, it helps to center one's energies. The Numalavonogeneshwara Muni Sattva, while practicing the deep practice of Prajnaparamita. Avalokiteshvara is an archetype of enlightened compassion known by many names, such as Kwanzyon Bosatsu, Kwanshiyun Pusa, Kwanteyam, and Chenrezig. Prajna translates as wisdom, paramita as perfection, denoting the Buddhist path of noticing and releasing in harmony with our inhalation, exhalation, and relaxation. Let's continue. Looked upon the 5 skandhas and seeing they were empty of self-existence. The rigid view emptiness literally Oh, you know what? Let me add something here. Okay. Let me make sure. I'm going to take a moment to verify that the display is still synchronized. The Sanskrit word skanda translates as aggregates. The 5 aggregates are merely one of many means of organizing experience and are not terribly important. The rigid view emptiness literally and get stuck in either pseudo-intellectual skullduggery or superstitious blind faith, whereas the flexible are open to the possibility that emptiness could be figurative. As our parasympathetic nervous system helps us to physically relax into each exhalation, our experience of that which we perceive during each inhalation, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, could now feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky and a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although could be tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. Said here, Shani Pundra, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not separate from form, form is not separate from emptiness. Whatever is form is emptiness, whatever is emptiness is form. The same holds for sensation and perception, memory and consciousness. Here Shariputra dharmas are defined by emptiness, not by birth or destruction, purity or defilement, completeness or deficiency. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, no perception, no memory, and no consciousness. For there's so what comes next are the 22 no's. What comes next is the vigorous use of 22 no's. For there is nothing perceived during inhalation that cannot be released, or at least to a certain degree, during our exhalation. No, I know you. Aha. Okay, so quick like a bunny. Quick like a bunny, I'm going to edit for the sake of easier chanting. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, and no mind. No shape, no sound, no smell, no taste, no feeling, and no thought. No element of perceptions from mind to conceptual consciousness. No causal link from consciousness to old age and death. Okay, quick like a bunny. Let's hit this button here. No wind of causal link from consciousness to old age and death. The Buddha explained, the just as the largest imprint in the mud is left by the elephant, likewise the largest impression in our mind is left by the contemplation of impermanence. No suffering, no source, no relief, no path, no knowledge, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Oopsie, this would be a good idea. Let's hit Control G13 so I remember to come back here. And now I need to take a minute to align the display. No knowledge, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore shall the Buddha without attainment. Bodhisattvas take refuge in Prajnaparamita and live without the wall of the mind. Without walls of the mind and thus without fears, they see through delusions and finally accomplish nirvana. Bodhidharma spoke of wall gazing, but what if he was speaking figuratively? By noticing the walls of our metaphoric prison of habitual resistance to the present moment, and then by viscerally releasing them, we are freed from the prison cell of our own creation. Consider three Consider the three mental poisons of our primal survival drives of hating, craving, and clinging. Buddha offers us liberation not from their presence, but their tyranny. All Buddhas, past, present, and future, also take refuge in Prajnaparamita and realize unexcelled perfect enlightenment. What if enlightenment was simply the mastery of the Eightfold Path? The Eightfold Path can be divided into three bits. Contemplations, letting go, Okay, let's try that again. Contemplations, letting go's right view of reality, as well as love's right wishes. Kindness's right communication. Kindness's right communication, kindness's right conduct, kindness's right commerce. And meditation's right enthusiasm, or right mindfulness of noticing, and right meditation of release. So there is this Eightfold Path. At first we are ignorant of it and don't even know we're ignorant of it. And eventually we learn that we are indeed ignorant of it. In time we can, if we're fortunate, we can develop some sort of a conscious competence of how to practice this Eightfold Path. That makes us a bodhisattva. When are we a Buddha? When our competence becomes unconscious. When our competence is, when our practice of the Eightfold Path is spontaneous, habitual, easy, and effective. Let's continue. If you've just joined me, welcome aboard. When you have a question about Buddhist meditation, philosophy, or chanting, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. Together. You should therefore know the great mantra Prajaparamita, the mantra of great magic, the unexcelled mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, which heals all suffering and is true, not false. This path of vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly noticing during each inhalation, as well as physically relaxing and mentally releasing during each exhalation, is as beneficial as a magical mantra of lore. The mantra in Prajaparamita is spoken thus: Gate gate para sangate buddhi swaha. May we so master the Buddha's path that we go completely and perfectly go to enlightenment. There are many ways to meditate. The easiest and the most efficient way is to insightfully practice body-first meditation. Or another way to put it is describe it as the physically oriented practice of just sitting. Now, just sitting should be put in quotes, because just sitting is a figure of speech. If we practice it literally, it's going to be unproductive. Now, here's what we want to do. During each inhalation, we want to practice diaphragmatic breathing-induced tall sitting, but that's a mouthful. So I just take these two syllables and blend them here. Diatol. And hopefully as you silently and mentally rephrase that during your inhalation, you'll distend your diaphragm and sit nice and tall to make your grandma proud. And then as you exhale, not only should we recite the word relaxing silently and mentally, but we can practice it as well. On the right, it reads, first collection of 16 sets of 16 rounds. I will take a moment to briefly explain what that is. A round is one inhalation followed by one exhalation. Whoops, wrong button. No, that's it. So what I like to do is count my rounds on the creases and tips of my left four fingers. I like to advance my right thumb during the inhalation because the exhalation is reserved for physically relaxing and mentally releasing. So during the first repetition of the first round, I would slide the tip of my thumb to the first set, the lower set of creases, my right little finger. Second set, third set, fourth set, 8th, 12th, 16th set. So this is pretty much a no-brainer. But those of us who've worked out in a gym are familiar with not only reps, but sets. So in your right hand, you can count first set of 16 rounds, second set of 16 rounds, third set of 16 rounds, and so forth. 16, it takes about 30-ish minutes to count 16 sets of 16 rounds. And I found this is a great way of timekeeping. That way we don't, find ourselves constantly looking at the clock or waiting for an alarm to go off. I like it. But that's just me. Okay, it is 25 minutes after the hour. Let's meditate. If you have any questions, remember, don't wait to the end. If you have questions, type them. I will be elated to answer them for you. You will not be disturbing me. I've been disturbed for years. Ah, yes. So, let's make sure our legs are crossed comfortably, our knees are comfortable, our hips are comfortable. Don't ignore pain. Ignoring pain does not make you tough, it makes you dumb. Don't make the mistake I did and needlessly create causes of arthritis. If you need to adjust your posture, adjust your posture. If people around you don't like adjusting their posture, then they're shitheads and they're not worthy of your presence. So there. Yeah. So you don't want to be lurching. You want to make sure the distance between your left shoulder and ear is the same distance as your right shoulder and ear. You want to make sure your nose is lined up with your navel. You're not twisted or torqued. That's not sustainable. So for the sake of getting our ducks in a row, let's lean to one side and then the other. Let's take a ridiculously enthusiastic round of breathing. To clear the cobwebs. Alan Watts rightly warned not to push yourself like you're working out when you're meditating. Listen for your body's signal when it's time to stop. If you push yourself beyond that, you may generate an aversion, which is counterproductive. It's hard on your pride, but a wise grown-up knows their limitations. By the way, those limitations always change. As we play with these silent and mental recitations, because of the nature of our autonomic nervous system, we will automatically notice things. Pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque, convenient or inconvenient. We will notice them involuntarily. But also, because of our breathing, as we exhale, we will release them, at least to a certain degree. So meditation is at best a passive process. We are not the screenwriter. We are not the director. We're just an audience member, enjoying the show. let us use chanting to train in wishing love. Let us perform each chant 3 times. May I, like the Buddha, master the Eightfold Path as well as liberate others. May I, like the Buddha, master the Eightfold Path as well as liberate others. May I, like the Buddha, master the Eightfold Path as well as liberate others. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness flow from centered spontaneity. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness flows from centered spontaneity. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness flow from centered spontaneity. Oopsie. May each being take auspicious rebirth, master the Buddha's path, and then help all others do likewise. May each being take auspicious rebirth, master the Buddha's path, and then help all others do likewise. May each being take auspicious rebirth, master the Buddha's path, and then help all others do likewise. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel I have earned it, type something in the chat window. Give this live stream a thumbs up and share it on social media. Oops, wrong button. There we go. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation. If you are as geeky as me, this is the way.